be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture.
Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
Let's rock.
Steelers Nation, what is going on? Thank you guys very much for tuning in on this Tuesday night for episode number 68 of the Steeler Culture Podcast. We are the Steel Twins here live for our sixth and final Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 NFL mock draft, the finale, ladies and gentlemen, as we are inching closer and closer and closer to draft time. 2 days away until we find out who will be the next Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 days time from this time now, we will all be watching the 2024 NFL Draft. We don't have to wait much longer. And like Rob said, we are live tonight. Thank you guys for joining us to give you guys our final Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 mock draft. And this is actually our first mock draft we've ever done live. All the other mock drafts on the channel and the channel's history have been pre-recorded and pre-edited. This is not. This is live, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes out. It's going to be very interesting to see your guys' live feedback. And not only are we going to be doing a live mock draft, we have a lot more to talk about because of the news that came out just hours ago, as a matter of fact. Yeah, and I anticipate more to be coming out within the next 2 days. I do.
And I'll just say this about most of it. Take it with a grain of salt. But
yeah, they're just rumors at the moment. Nothing's actually been reported by any of the top sources. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, guys like that.
That's going to come on draft day specifically. But just take most of it with a grain of salt. But it seems like a certain rumor is starting to pick up steam a little more and more. And it's becoming too active to a point that there might be some fire to that smoke. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the continued rumors of Brandon Aiyuk because there is some more that's coming out.
And it will. More will come.
It will. And we will be talking about the rumors of the Steelers potentially trading up with the Broncos at 12 for a certain cornerback out of Toledo and Quinion Mitchell, which is very interesting. We'll talk about all of that. But first, we got to get into the mock draft, as you guys know. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. This is our second mock draft, second live stream of this week. As you guys know, we'll be live every day this week. Tomorrow night, we'll be doing a final Steelers draft talk live stream where we just chit-chat about everything, almost a little bit of reverbiage of what we've mentioned, plus what else is going to be coming out, because with draft week here, there's going to be so much more that'll be coming out. There's going to be so many rumors, so much stuff, so much speculation. Take it with a little grain of salt, but we got to talk about it. It gives us something to talk about, and there might be some truth to it. So we're going to talk about all that as well. And before we get into the mock, of course, as you guys know, the jerseys here, the George Pickens signed jersey, the Joey Porter Jr. signed jersey, they will be given away on both nights of the NFL Draft. George Pickens will be given away on night 1. Joey Porter Jr. will be given away on night 2. If you guys want to get involved, all you got to do is become a channel member. Join the channel membership. Become a member of the SteelTwins Nation. Join the STN for a short fee of $1.99 a month, and you guys get immediate entry. We put all the names in a random spinner thing, majiggy, which I will show live, and whatever name it lands on is the victor, is the winner. So you guys want to get involved in that, simply just join the STN. $1.99 a month, damn near free.
Yeah, of course. Special shout out real quick to Lord Knows 36, Steeler Out West, and Icy Roads. They have joined the STN just to be a part of the jersey giveaway. So if anybody wants to be a part of it, all you got to do is join the STN.
Yes, and thank you guys for that, for sure. All right, shall we get into the mock? Enough blabbering, enough, whatever. Should we just get into the mock right now?
You want to get into the mock, or you want to get into the discussion of these rumors? What do you want to get out of the way first?
I don't know, man, because we're here for the mock.
Sure.
We're here for the mock. So I don't know if we want to talk about the rumors real quick or save that for after. We haven't really had time to discuss that, have we? We're doing this live. This is literally impromptu.
Yeah,
it's kind of hilarious.
You know what? I mean, we're here for the mock. Let's get the mock out the way. I'm sure you guys are wondering who we have put in this final mock. Me and Dan have had back and forth conversations of who to take round 1, round 2, et cetera, et cetera. We were trying to figure out what to do.
It was a lot of intensive thinking.
We had no idea, because this is the thing with the Steelers this year with the draft when it comes to Omar Khan and company. We don't know where they're going to go.
No, we don't. And we've almost thrown every little scenario out there, and we were thinking of other options and similar options of what we did. It was a lot of intensive thinking for this last mock to really get it done. And we wanted to finish it off with a banger. We think this one is a very good mock. It's going to be very interesting to see your guys' reactions live here. I just want to say this real quick, man. You guys can see it on my face. I'm excited. I'm excited for the draft, man. I'm just really, really happy that the draft is here. It'll be here shortly. And thus, the mock drafts will be over. Pretty much all the mock drafts, everything that's been done before will be irrelevant come Thursday, because anything could happen. Anything could happen. So let's just get into the mock, man. Let's just get into the mock. Like we said, we went through so many scenarios. We ultimately decided in this final mock.
Yeah, we came to a conclusion with this right here, that the Steelers trade back in the first round.
Again,
Arizona Cardinals.
What's the difference? Yeah, they trade back with the Arizona Cardinals. So we did a trade back scenario last week with Adonai Mitchell taking him at 25 with the Packers. This time we entertained the idea of trading back with the Cardinals because they actually have capital to sacrifice, and it seems like the Cardinals, they're really trying to stack weapons for Kyler Murray. So I think they will be one of those teams that is going to be trying to trade up back in the top 20, especially if a certain talent falls that far, which is very likely.
Yeah.
Anything is possible in the NFL draft. So in this, the Steelers trade away pick 20 and a 2025 fifth-round pick, because they have 2 of them. They can sacrifice one of them. They trade the first-round pick and a 2025 fifth for the Cardinals' 27th pick, the 66th pick, which is a early third-rounder, and the 138th pick, which is an early fifth-rounder. So they're essentially trading back into the first round, or they're trading back in the first to gain an extra day 2 pick, as well as trading next year's fifth for a fifth this year.
Yeah.
And with this, they gain 2 extra picks. They have, I believe, 7 right now.
Yeah, 7 selections.
And now with this, they would have 9. So they would have 27, 51, 66, 84, 98. That is 5 picks in the top 100.
Yeah.
Along with 119, 138, 178, and 195.
And trading back when it comes to the Steelers' position, and quite honestly, who would be on the board come draft night, is a high possibility that I'm sure that Khan and company are considering, and it would benefit them a lot considering that there's still a plethora of positions that if they were not to trade back, they wouldn't fill all positions completely.
No, they wouldn't. And I think that's a necessity. And we'll get into it down later in this live stream. And we mentioned a little bit in yesterday's stream as well. They just have a lot of holes, and there's so many depth holes as well that's not being talked about. We think trading back and gaining extra capital is very necessary because they can still get a guy that they really desire later on while still gaining an extra day 2 pick and filling another hole, which is incredibly necessary. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do in this mock. So with the 27th pick, we entertained so many options. We entertained Amarius Mims. Did not go him. We entertained Graham Barton.
We were close.
Did not go with Graham Barton.
Ultimately.
We even entertained Cooper DeJean. Did not go him.
Ultimately, with the 27th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon.
I apologize if this is too repetitive, but this is one of our favorite guys in the first round or in this draft in general. I know there are injury concerns that are just now coming up regarding multiple concussions and knee issues, whether you want to believe them or not. Jackson Powers Johnson, in our opinion, is still the top center in this NFL draft. And the Steelers badly need a center. And I do believe that center is worth taking in the first round because you will get a 10 to 15 plus year starter out of that position in the first round.
Yeah, whether that's at pick 20, if they remain at 20, or if they trade back wherever in the first round, center is worth a first round selection for the Steelers.
Especially if they trade back and gain an extra pick. So you're still filling a hole while gaining an extra pick at the same time. And as you see, Jackson Powers Johnson, I know he only has 1 year starting experience at Oregon last year at center, but he came into college as a center, as a 5-star prospect, and it even gave him the nation's best center in college football last year.
Yeah.
And the Steelers aren't going to be shied away by 1 year production because they took Broderick Jones last year. They traded up for him. And you can see he can get to the second level. He's a great blocker, great hand placement, very good in pass protection. I mean, he rose his stock in the Senior Bowl, and he hasn't really done much ever since then. He worked at the Combine. He worked through some injury concerns. The Steelers brought him in for a top 30 visit. They sent their offensive line coach to his pro day, so the interest is there. The need is there, and we go Jackson Powers Johnson again in this mock draft. Trading back and still getting him.
Yeah.
Which we think is very possible because you got to look at center being positionally valued less than teams would think, or that you would think teams would value it. You can still get him later on.
And not just that, not just, the fact that center is less valued than other positions, but the fact that other teams may have other centers like Zach Frazier over JPJ.
Very possible.
That's a huge possibility. Again, draft boards are drastically different. Other teams may have other prospects higher than other prospects than initially thought.
Right.
So getting extra picks by trading back with Arizona and still getting your franchise center, a guy for the next decade, and fulfilling a position that has been neglected for so long.
For the love of Jesus, and I apologize for saying that, but draft a center. Please draft a center. And here's our philosophy. We know we can probably get a center in the second round, and I'm not waiting till the third to draft a center. So it's either first or second round, they're grabbing a center. But if you wait to the second round, you lose or you run the risk of missing out on one of the top centers in this draft because there are center-needy teams ahead of us, with our picks. There's the Eagles, there's the Cowboys, there's the Bucks, there's the Rams, I believe.
The Seahawks even.
The Seahawks, the Panthers. So there are teams that could very well take a center, and Tomlin and Khan have alluded to it multiple times. There are only a handful of centers that will start year one. Yeah. Do they want to run the risk of missing out on one of the top 4 centers? And then starting who?
And then, relying on Nate Herbig or an unknown free agent or a Connor Williams coming off an ACL injury.
Right.
If they were possibly signing him. But, just fulfill the position, take a center, stop neglecting it, just get your guy.
Yes.
Get your guy, keep him, and get him.
Yeah. And
secure it.
That's our philosophy. That's what we ran with all offseason. We are still open to many other positions and many other names. So if we can get a center second round while gaining another guy first round, feel free. I'm the one in thinking that might not happen, and I don't want to run that risk. So we get Jackson Powers Johnson while still trading back.
Yeah.
Now, with the 51st pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver out of Florida. This is a guy that we really like, day 2. And the Steelers have brought him in for a top 30 visit. And this is someone that started his career at Arizona State for 3 years before transferring to Florida and was Anthony Richardson's top receiver in 2022 before breaking out last year in 2023, having almost 1,000 yards. And if you see in some of these clips, especially this one, he would have had over 1,000 if the quarterback could hit his receiver.
Yeah.
So he was on the brick of 1,000. He probably should have if a certain couple of these plays went in his direction. But this is a guy that is fast, very flashy. You see a play like that, he can go up and high point the football, rarely drops the football. His route running is something that we obviously need to bring back into the receiving room since we traded Deontay. We do not have a pure route runner. This guy is a savvy route runner. Very good. And his footwork is explosive. His head movements, fake defenders. Like, this guy is a complete route runner. He can create separation. He's a big playmaker. This is someone we really like day 2 if they really want to get a wide receiver. If they don't trade for one, we'll discuss it later. But Ricky Pearsall is just someone that is he's what we need. He brings some size. He brings speed. He brings the route running. He brings
look at
separation.
that concentration. Look at that concentration, how he tracks the ball there on the deep pass there.
Yeah. And you see,
look at that.
And you see the big playability. This was in 2022, up the seam. That's a touchdown right there. I mean, Pearsall is going to be a fine receiver in the NFL.
I mean, you see a separation. You see how fluid his route running is, which would be a great compliment beside George Pickens. He's got good size, 6'1", just about 190. He can jump. He can get the jump off he needs to with a 42 vertical jump at the combine. Like, this guy can do it all.
Oh, he's an athlete, and he's just like I said, a flashy player, and
a speedster at the same time.
And he brings the route running ability that the receiving room needs, because we don't have a route runner. You want a route runner? You get one of the best ones in the draft class. He's not the best one in the draft class, but he is up there. He's one of the best route runners, and then you can secure your guy there. And then you have your number 2 wide receiver opposite George Pickens. So that's why we take Ricky Pearsall here, because of the Steelers' interest, because we think he could be there at 51. We've looked at other names. We have mocked Xavier Legette here before. It's possible he may not be there. I love Ladd McConkey out of Georgia. It's very possible he might sneak up into the first round. Otherwise, if he's there at 51, I have no doubt that McConkey will be a Steeler. I just don't think that's possible. I mean, we looked at Malachi Corley before. Maybe he's a third round option for the Steelers, but we go Pearsall here.
Yeah.
We go Pearsall here, and
I think it goes to show how stacked the receiving draft is.
Very stacked.
It's been reiterated by several other people, us many times, but it's the truth.
Yes.
It's so stacked. It's filled with talent. Pearsall is one of those names that the Steelers have shown a ton of interest in. He's a guy that is just very fluid, very flashy, a guy that is just a credible target, a credible wide receiver.
Yeah, and he's someone that I think would fit our new wide receiver coach's mold, and the way he would develop him in his system. I think he could be a nice toy for Arthur Smith. So we really like Ricky Pearsall. We waited to the last mock to finally mock him here, but yeah, we think he's going to be a viable option if he's there at 51. Ricky Pearsall is going to be a stud, man, for sure.
And just like that, center wide receiver is taken off the board within the first 2 rounds.
2 biggest needs off the board immediately.
And that's what I anticipate the Steelers' mindset to be. That's what I anticipate the first 2 picks to be, but you never know. You never know when it comes to Thursday.
Yeah, it could go a different direction. I mean, I know tackle is going to be highly thought of in the first round, but in our opinion, and you'll see it later in this mock, we really went most important needs here. I know best player available is probably more of the valuable options here, but we went most necessity needs in this mock draft. So we went receiver, then we went center, then receiver, and now with the 66th pick that we got from the Cardinals, I think the 2nd pick in the 3rd round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Mike Sammerstill, defensive back out of Michigan. We need a slot defender. We need a slot corner because we haven't had one since obviously Mike Hilton, and this is who Sammerstill reminds us of. Incredibly.
A carbon copy of Mike Hilton. Steelers don't have one currently on the roster at this moment.
They do not have a day 1 starting slot corner. They don't. They could still sign somebody. They could take one later into the draft. But first of all, the Steelers have shown massive interest in Sammerstill. They sent the house to the Michigan Pro Day. And he fits exactly what the Steelers need, not only in a corner that they like to draft, which is a receiver-turned corner. He's only played the cornerback position for 2 years, but was one of Michigan's best defensive players last year.
Yeah, he's already very advanced for his transitional position. His transition from wide receiver to cornerback. The guy's a ball hawk. The guy's very good in the run defender. He's a physical tackler, great blitzer too. You know, he just is exactly what Mike Hilton was when he was a Pittsburgh Steeler.
He's a do-it-all slot guy, man. 6 interceptions last year in his second year at playing cornerback. The guy can do it all. He brings speed, he brings aggression, he brings blitz, he brings the ball hawking ability, he brings everything you need at the slot corner position, man. So he just looks like he plays like a Steeler. He plays like a Steeler slot corner. And he would fulfill your position for the long term. Him at 66, I think, is a prime spot. He could go earlier. He could be there later, but we go with him here at 66 because we really need a slot corner. I think the Steelers are going to look at Sanders Till in high regard, and even at 51 if he's still there.
Yeah.
But we put him here at 66 because I think that's the sweet spot for him to be selected. And that's why we trade back with the Cardinals, because it gives us the ability to take a guy like Sanders Till without risking him not being there in the third or later in the third.
Yeah.
So we take him here at 66.
Of course.
Sanders Till he's going to be a stud, man.
He's one of my favorites in this upcoming draft class.
Yeah, arguably the best slot corner in the entire draft class. Amazing. He's a great player. And he's one of our favorites, and I think the Steelers are going to have eyeballs on him because they already have all offseason. So we go Sanders Till in this mock at 66.
And just like that, you fulfill nickel corner. You get your guy right there. You add another piece to the defense, and then boom. I mean, your secondary is, for the most part, pretty much fixed and filled. You got your starters like that.
And that's arguably our 3 biggest needs is center, receiver, and slot corner. I'll throw tackle in there as up there as well because we do need a tackle.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we do with this next pick. At the 84th pick.
In the 3rd round.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Blake Fisher, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. This is just someone that has been around the Steelers' radar, mocked to the Steelers multiple times, and they brought him in for a top 30 visit. And we can't stress it enough. Offensive tackle is the one position that they can push back because they actually have a lean on, unlike the other positions we've mocked before this one.
It's a bad lean on, but it's a lean on.
They have it. They don't have the others. They don't have a center. They don't have a wide receiver 2. They don't have a slot corner. They have a starting left tackle. He's not good, but they have a starting left tackle. They can wait for tackle, and at 84, they take Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame, who has started the last 2 years, a lot of starting experience at right tackle, opposite Joe Alton, and is arguably the more athletic tackle at Notre Dame. And he was a steady blocker, very good in pass protection, strong and run blocking, which is perfect for our scheme. Mm-hmm. He would not start day one. At least I wouldn't think he would start day one, but he could absolutely challenge Dan Moore or Broderick Jones.
He can make the case.
Yeah.
He can definitely, without a doubt, make the case. The guy just got a very, very good mentality when it comes to blocking. He's got that bully blocking type of style to him.
And look at his size, 6'6", 310. That is an Andy Waddle tackle if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. He just fits it to a T.
Steelers have shown so much interest. They need a tackle. They can take one later if they so desire to, if they can't get one early on. And Blake Fisher's been around the Steelers' name for pretty much seems like all offseason. And it's starting to heat up.
And around round 3, I can see right tackle being a prime spot for the Steelers to look at and potentially select.
And tackle is deep.
Very.
Tackle is very deep, so they can wait on that. And we think Blake Fisher could sit a minimum half the season before they finally put Broderick at left and then put Fisher at right tackle. Omar Khan has said it. They drafted Broderick to be a left tackle. He will be a left tackle eventually. No one knows when, but he will be there. That's going to happen.
Yep.
So they can sit a guy until they think he is fully ready or until Dan Moore
it is just that terrible.
Right.
Which he is, but yeah.
But that's why we go Blake Fisher here. And we've mocked him in several times, so we do it again in this one just because we think he's a realistic option. And we think he's a very good option, very underrated tackle. I think it could be a steal in the 3rd round for sure, man. Get a starting tackle in the 3rd round, that'd be very good right there.
Big snag.
Now, with the 98th pick we got from Philadelphia, because of you know who. You know who. With the 98th pick, we go a different direction here.
I would say this is very synonymous since it is a Eagles pick that now belongs to the Steelers. But with the 98th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jeremiah Trotter Jr., linebacker out of Clemson.
We need linebacker depth, and we need a future solution at linebacker. We have Patrick Queen. We signed him to a long-term deal this year. Great signing. We have Alandon Roberts for 1 more year. We don't know if he's going to be back. We have him for 1 more year. Cole Holcomb, he's signed for 2 more years, but we don't know what the extent of his injury is. We don't know when his recovery time is. And there is actually a legitimate possibility that Alandon Roberts and Cole Holcomb could be gone from the Steelers after this season. Think about it. Alandon Roberts doesn't sign back, and they could look at Cole Holcomb as a cap casualty.
And if that's the case,
or if his injury doesn't recover, they will look at him as a cap casualty. And then all we have is Patrick Queen. Who is the starting linebacker opposite? We have nobody. We have no linebacker depth.
0.
Mark Robinson is not it. No one else is not it. That's why we trade back in this mock, and at the end of the third round with the comp pick we got from Philly, we go Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who was a stud linebacker at Clemson. He is an athlete. He is a do-it-all linebacker. He can cover. He can blitz. He had 12 sacks the last 2 years at Clemson. He can work in the ground game. He can work against the run.
Especially against the run. I mean, look at the tackles for loss. I mean, 28.5 tackles for loss within the past 2 years.
I do feel like he could be a little better in terms of his reads and his estimate in the run defense. I think he overestimates sometimes. I think he overthinks and he jumps the gun a little bit. That's why he would sit and he would come in rotationally on obvious passing downs because he's a coverage linebacker. He has a sideline range. And, of course, the Steelers sent the house to the Clemson Pro Day. Mike Tomlin had a close personal talk with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And, of course, because of his name, he has NFL bloodlines. The Steelers have stressed that multiple times.
Several times. As a matter of fact, I believe that a bloodline player will be selected by the Steelers. I feel like it happens every year. I think it's inevitable.
And Trotter's a realistic option, especially at the end of the third round, because they understand they need linebacker help. They understand they need depth. They need a future solution there. They don't have much of that. And the same can be said for defensive line as well. We'll get into that later because we do mock defensive line in this mock.
But when it comes to linebacker, when it comes to the linebacker position, Omar Khan's been very aggressive at revamping that position.
Yes, he has.
Because he understands that that's been a big gaping hole. That's been a key red flag on the Steelers defense for many, many years.
Right.
So when it came to last offseason, he filled it. He brought in a bunch of different bodies, a bunch of different names, and they gelled well, very nice until injuries came about.
Yes.
But then because of that concern, he went into free agency and was very aggressive in a guy that in which his best ability is availability in Patrick Queen, and just the stud that he was in Baltimore.
Yes. Or even think about this.
And I don't think he's done with the linebacker room.
No. Or even think about this, right? Going back to what we stated about how Roberts and Holcomb could very well be gone next year. Roberts could still be back. I think he's a great asset in the run defense. You have to bring him back. But is he an every down linebacker? No.
As he ages, that's probably not going to happen.
So he could come in as a rotational piece, like Vince Williams, like the Vince Williams role, but you still need someone that could sideline to sideline range with Patrick Queen. That's why we go Trotter in this one. Yeah. And we think he's a realistic option because of what we just stated. Mm-hmm. The Clemson connection, the bloodlines, the interest, the need, the trade back scenario. It makes all the sense in the world. And Jeremiah Trotter, man, if he were able to sit for a year, that would do him wonders because I think it's necessary.
No, it really is. You know, it's a reason why he could fall very far into the bottom of the third round, probably even outside the top 100. But Trotter is still a nice prospect. You know, he's got the upside, the bloodline, the potential. You know, he works on the little kinks. He works with Aaron Curry if he were to be selected by the Steelers. Right. He learns from Queen. He learns from the veterans in Holcomb and Atlanta Roberts. He works on what he needs to work on. And we got a hell of a linebacker duo for the future in Queen and Trotter.
We need athletes in that room.
And he's an athlete. He can move.
Yes, he can.
The guy can move.
Yes, he can. So that's why we like Trotter here in the end of the third because we were able to trade back and fulfill all the other positions prior to that. Now, with the fourth round, with the 119th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Renardo Green, defensive back out of Florida State, along with linebacker depth. We do not have cornerback depth. I know we have Corey Trice and we have Darius Rush who are coming into their second year, but we need extra bodies. We need dependability. We need guys just in case of injury or they don't step up in their second year.
Or just fill up the cornerback room completely.
Or just a guy that we can breed for the future. I think Renardo Green can be a very good starting caliber corner down the road. He might not start early on into his NFL career, depending on where he gets selected, which is around the third or fourth round range. But he would sit for a year. Maybe he can work in some sub packages, get his feet wet. Maybe he can work in the slot a little bit. And then he would be the guy opposite JPJ whenever Dante Jackson's days are over. Whether that is maybe in his rookie year, maybe mid-season, maybe next year, maybe after 2024. But regardless, we need cornerback depth. We need someone that we can develop down the road. And I really like Renardo Green because he reminds me a lot of JPJ. That physicality, that stickiness, that physical aggression in man coverage. He's a phenomenal scheme fit. One of his biggest strong suits is the physical ability and man coverage. Mm-hmm. And that fits JPJ to a T. So you get two lockdown corners outside, I mean, that is exactly what the secondary needs. So we fulfill that by going Ronaldo Green here in the 4th round.
And you see right there, I mean, he's going up against one of the arguably the top wide receiver in this draft class, and that's Malik Nabers. And the guy just had a standout performance.
Not just Nabers, but that was Brian Thomas as well. He had Brian Thomas on clamps in the LSU game.
Yeah.
That's going up against first-round talent.
Yeah, he made a name for himself in that LSU game.
Yeah.
Big standout performance.
I mean, both of the FSU guys stood up.
Yeah, him and Jerry Jones, yeah.
and Ronaldo Green, right? They're both going to be studs. Jerry Jones is going to be a nice lockdown slot option with outside flexibility down the road, wherever he gets selected. And we think Ronaldo Green has the potential to be a starting perimeter corner opposite JPJ.
Yeah, of course. You know, he brings the necessary depth at the outside cornerback position. He's a good developmental piece for a secondary coach to work on. And the guy just got the most upside in the world in this draft class.
And 13 passes defended last year for Ronaldo Green.
Yeah.
13.
He's a hell of an athlete. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he is. That's why we like Ronaldo Green here. And we just need a little bit of an answer. Because we got Dante Jackson doesn't mean, corner's fixed. Corner's not fixed.
Dante's nothing more than a fill-in as of this moment.
Yes.
I don't really see him sticking around after the upcoming season. So with that being the case with the 4th-round selection that the Steelers have, they look a little bit into the future and try to fulfill that position with a developmental piece.
Right.
And that's Green.
So that's why we go with Ronaldo Green here. And the Steelers have shown some interest, man. They sent some cats to the Florida State Pro Day. I think Ike Taylor was there. So, yeah, there's going to be some interest there. And he could be one of those, like, best available pick options in 119, very much like a Nick Herbig last year. Now, with the 138th pick that we got from Arizona, remember, we traded back from 20 to 27 to get 27, 66, and 138. So we do have a pick in between 119 and 178. The second pick in the 5th round. We don't have a 5th rounder. Now we do because we traded back.
Yeah.
With the 138th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Malik Washington, wide receiver out of Virginia. We double dip at wide receiver because we think it's possible. We think it's going to happen. It's a necessity. We need bodies, and we need depth, and we need actually competition in the slot. We need some dependability in the slot. We need some competition for Calvin Austin and Quez Watkins and them. They are competition, but they're not exactly the competition you would desire. So we bring in another piece like a Malik Washington from Virginia. Now, we did heavily contemplate Luke McCaffrey here. We did, but we wanted to go Washington because I like Washington a little more. 5'8", 191, but as you can see, he does not play like it.
No.
He plays a lot bigger than his size. He has speed, yak ability, very strong hands, really drops the football. He can go up and get it for a 5'8" guy. Now, he's primarily a slot option, but we do need a dependable slot guy. We do. We need someone like Malik Washington. And Malik Washington, man, his story is incredible. 4 years at Northwestern. 4 years. And then he transferred to Virginia and broke out. Almost 1,500 yards last year.
Yeah, 9 touchdowns off 110 receptions. Guy had a breakout performance last season. Breakout season.
Yeah, and he's a big playability. Like I said, yak ability, body control, long speed. I mean, the guy's got what you need in a depth receiver and as a potential camp competition for the slot. Malik Washington is actually one of my guys this year. He is such a sleeper. I feel like if this wide receiver class wasn't so deep, he has day 2 potential, round 2 potential, honestly.
It wouldn't surprise me if he were to sneak his way into that discussion.
I wouldn't be surprised either. In fact, that's what I fear. But I'm going to put that fear to the side and pick him here at 138. We did heavily contemplate Luke McCaffrey here, but we want to go someone different. We want to go a different direction, and we go with one of our favorites, Malik Washington here, man. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud somewhere in the NFL. If used properly, if given the ball, the guy can make magic happen.
Yeah.
So Malik Washington here, we go at 138. Because of the pick we got from Arizona, we're able to double dip at receiver.
Which is necessary.
And then your receivers are looking at like George Pickens, Ricky Pearsall, Malik Washington, Calvin Austin, and then the bodies they brought in.
It's a little bit more digestible.
A lot more digestible.
Especially if they double dip on wide receiver, which I do anticipate. I feel like it's necessary.
It needs to happen.
A guy like Washington would be a credible piece.
Yeah.
Added competition, added body, and although he has a small stature to him, he does not play like it. As a matter of fact, when you see him on the field, he plays a lot bigger than his size. That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
and for his size, his physicality is out of this world.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is a little too crazy. And I know this is kind of the guy everyone goes to when you look at a guy of his size and see him play. I see a little bit of Steve Smith physicality in him. Steve Smith wasn't. I'm not comping him to Steve Smith. Okay, that's too high. I'm just saying his play style, his physicality, his nastiness with the ball in his hands reminds me a little bit of Steve Smith. Like, if you get your hands on him, you better bring him down, because if you don't, he's gonna make you a highlight reel.
Yeah, don't let the size fool you.
Yeah.
Like the guy will put you down. The guy will put you on your ass. The guy will make you look like a mistake.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we go double dip wide receiver here, man. So we double dip at corner and we double dip at wide receiver. We think it's got to happen. We think it could happen, and because of the trade back scenario, it allows it to happen. And then you fulfill your depth pieces. That's why we really like the trade back.
Hey,
option.
depth's important, man. Depth is really important.
We know.
Yeah.
We know.
And
the Steelers know.
Con is all about depth and competition.
Yes, he is, man. He alluded to that numerous times. So with the 178th pick in this mock, we haven't gone defensive line yet, so we go defensive line here. With the 178th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Christian Boyd, defensive tackle out of Northern Iowa.
This is a guy that the Steelers have shown a ton of interest in, just as much as every other prospect we have mocked.
Now, out of all of the defensive linemen that they have looked into, this is someone that they have not went to his pro day. They did not send anyone to his pro day. And, of course, Christian Boyd was a NFL Combine snub, so they didn't really have enough conversation or any conversation with Christian Boyd until they brought him in for a top 30 visit. And Andy Waddle is one of those guys where he will find one of these late-round small school gems to fulfill depth and develop into a future piece on the defense down the road. That is Andy Waddle's bread and butter. He did that for the Eagles, and I think he's doing that with a guy like Christian Boyd. That's why they brought him in for a top 30 visit. And if they don't go defensive line early, which they could, but it's possible they don't, because I don't know where exactly it fits, depending on what positions they value and how the boards fall. They could wait on a guy like Boyd in the 6th round.
Yeah. And Boyd's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of upside. I consider him one of the biggest sleepers in this upcoming draft class.
Yeah.
I feel like if you went to the Combine, he would be taken a lot earlier.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the problem with Boyd is it's upsetting because he didn't have a lot of time. He didn't have a lot of spotlight to showcase what he could do and how he could improve his draft stock, which is why we take him in the 6th round. And as you see, like, he's physical, nasty hands, very good in the run defense. He's a gap filler, pass rush upside, and he would be a depth body who could develop into a potential rotational piece and maybe start opposite Keanu Benton. He's someone that they can lean on in year 2 because, very much like linebacker, we could be without 2 starters, which in the linebacker room could be Roberts and Holcomb. Defensive line is the same next year.
With Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi.
And then all we have is Benton.
Yeah.
We don't have a future plan at defensive line or linebacker or regardless in the front 7 outside of the new additions.
Yeah. And we just need more bodies on that defensive line.
Yes.
Leal has not cut it. Loudermilk has not cut it. We brought in Dean Lowry, but that guy's nothing but a depth piece at the moment.
Yeah. So we need another camp body. We need competition for Loudermilk and Leal, and we need someone to develop in a future plan for next year.
Yeah.
That's why we like Christian Boyd. He's actually one of our favorite day 3 options, especially later on. If they don't take defensive line early, they could definitely wait on a guy like Boyd. And the top 30 visit shows their interest, and he's just one of those Andy Waddle selections you could take late.
Yeah.
One of those late-round gems, pretty much. One of those steals, potentially.
Big sleeper, big sleeper.
Now with the 195th pick in this mock, the last pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers double dip at offensive tackle with Travis Glover, offensive tackle out of Georgia State. This is someone they've also shown interest in. From a small school, yes, but they do need extra bodies on the line. They do need extra depth. All they have is Dan Moore, an inevitable offensive tackle, Broderick Jones, and who else? Dylan Cook, is he still on the roster?
Yes, he is, but, I mean, who knows, right? Who knows?
Well, you also got to think about this. Dan Moore's in the last year of his contract. I don't know if the Steelers will sign him. Let's say they don't.
I hope not.
Who's your swing guy next year? Who's your swing tackle next year? No one. So we're going to need some extra bodies. This is more so of a camp body. This is some extra bodies on the line, maybe a practice squad piece. But this is someone they could develop. This is someone they've shown interest in. Was it a 5-year starter at Georgia State? He started games at left tackle, left guard, and right tackle. So he has the position flexibility they like in their depth pieces. He's that swing possibility. Yeah. He's a mammoth of an offensive tackle, as you saw his size. And
And a wide tackle.
He's someone that can develop as a future depth piece.
Yeah, and that's all he would be. Just added a depth piece competition. He could redshirt his rookie year if he has to, but in the second year, that's where he could really get down and compete and work his way as the primary depth guy.
There is some inconsistency problems with him, and that has to do with the fact he went to a small school. He didn't really go up against a lot of elite college competition, or he didn't go up against it consistently.
Yeah.
So there are some concerns there, but that's why we throw a late 6th, 7th round flyer at Glover, stash him on the practice squad. Maybe he impresses enough that he can make the 53 as that depth guy alongside Moore in a future tackle we're going to take.
Yeah, just that extra insurance policy for if Dan Moore is not sticking around after his final year.
And that's what we do in this mock, man. So we trade back, but we also grab some of the biggest needs early, like center, receiver, slot corner, offensive tackle, right?
Yeah.
And then we also think of depth because we do need depth. We brought in so many names, but we still have depth issues at linebacker, corner, offensive tackle, defensive line.
And wide receiver still.
And not only do we bring in depth, we bring in some potential pieces that could be added to the defense, future starters perhaps for 2025.
Yeah.
Because there is a scenario where we could be without some of our starters next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a massive concern. And then you're looking at some gaping holes along with the quarterback position, arguably.
Yeah.
So you got to fulfill some of these holes next year because you got to keep that in the back of your mind. Not just fill the holes this year. You got to think of the problems next year.
Yeah.
And Omar Khan kind of alluded to doing that with the Justin Fields trade at the quarterback position. So he's definitely going to look at that in regard to these other positions that need depth, as well as competition for camp, because that's always a good thing.
Just take that mentality right into the draft and just think long term. That's what it is. It's long-term thinking.
Yeah.
And it's a good mentality to have. It's a great mentality to have.
Yeah, so we really thought long and hard about this mock. I know some of the players are a little reoccurring, but it's also guys that they've shown interest in. It's guys that we all like here. And truthfully, I think it's all realistic.
Some of the better guys, some of the more uprising and full of potential guys at their respective positions, at their respective draft projections.
Yeah, so that is our final Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 mock draft. There you have it. Mock draft season is over. Mock draft season is over. Well, technically not, because tomorrow night when we go live with you guys, there will be some live mock drafts on the computer here from like Pro Football Network, PFF, or whatever network you guys want to use. It'll be the chat involvement only. You guys will decide the picks in the mock draft tomorrow night.
You guys
fuck
will
our
be,
opinions.
You guys
fuck
will,
our choices. It's you guys.
You guys will be the authority.
So, and we might even do a full first round mock draft to make it even more exciting. Why the hell not?
Yeah, why the hell not? Let's have some fun tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, but that's for tomorrow.
Of course.
That's for tomorrow night. That's for 24 hours from now. That's our mock, man. We'll do a quick recap. Steelers trade pick 20 and a 2025 fifth round pick to the Arizona Cardinals for picks 27, 66, and 138 this year. And the 27th pick, they take Jackson Powers Johnson. 51st pick, they take Ricky Pearsall. 66th pick, they take Mike Sainristil. 84th pick, they take Blake Fisher. 98th pick, they take Jeremiah Trotter Jr. 119th pick, they take Renardo Green. 138th pick, they take Malik Washington. 178th pick, they take Christian Boyd. And 195th pick, they take Travis Glover. That is our final Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft. And this kind of saddens me to say this. We will not be making another Steelers mock draft for another year. For like 10 months.
Yeah. That's true.
That kind of saddens me a little bit. But it's been fun, man. 6 mock drafts this year. And I got
a lot of thinking.
A lot of thinking. And we appreciate your guys' support and your guys' feedback and your guys' viewership, regardless of what the mocks turned out. And I got to say this for ourselves personally. I think this is what some of the best mock drafts we've made since the channel was established. I think we were consistently putting out very solid mocks.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. You know, I feel like every year when it comes to the offseason and the NFL draft coming around, and mock draft season, you know, I feel like every year we get a little bit better in our research.
Knowledge.
A little bit knowledgeable with the sport of football and the prospects, everything like that.
Yeah, it all comes with age for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this mock turned out great, man. But
I think all the mocks turned out very good.
I think so too, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one for sure. Now, can we get into the rumors? Can we get into the latest news that came out like 4 hours ago?
Yeah, who do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Brandon Aiyuk? Do you feel like that's appropriate?
Yes, we will start with Brandon Aiyuk. Ladies and gentlemen, there is some update regarding the Brandon Aiyuk rumors. I don't think these are rumors anymore, man. I think it's truth. There is some smoke to this fire. whether it's some fire to that smoke, whatever one it goes. I think there's some truth here. I think Aiyuk is very much in the possibility of being traded on draft night. Who that's to, we won't know till draft night, if it happens or not.
But obviously the Steelers have constantly been in that pool of teams that could trade for Brandon Aiyuk. It's not hard to see why.
Yes.
Need a wide receiver.
And in fact, there is a little bit of an update from the San Francisco Chronicle. Now, for those that don't know, the San Francisco Chronicle is the San Francisco version of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, pretty much.
Yeah.
But a writer on that website, very known backstage reporter or NFL Network analyst, Michael Silver. Michael Silver put on the San Francisco Chronicle, he puts, and I quote, and this is a screen caption that Billy M_91 on Twitter was able to put on X. So I will read this here. Based on what I'm hearing from knowledge, sources inside the building, and from high-ranking personnel executives and coaches around the league, don't rule out a deal that would send Brock Purdy's favorite target to another team. All I know is that as of Monday night, when I posed the question to a 49ers source with direct knowledge of the team's plans, the words I kept hearing were, anything's possible. Earlier, I spoke to another team's general manager who insisted that because the Niners and Aiyuk are far apart on negotiations for a lucrative contract extension, the fifth-year receiver is very much in play. During the first week of April, the 49ers, through a back-channel confidant, reached out to at least one GM to gauge his interest in trading for Aiyuk. The GM in question chose not to engage, partly because this is considered a receiver-rich draft, which is a very interesting comment because that might actually lower Aiyuk's value. There is a sense among other high-ranking personnel executives around the league that Aiyuk, as one such executive put it, is available for the right price. They said the same thing about Deontay Johnson, and it happened. To this point, the 49ers have asked for a 2024 first-round pick. They want too much, said the executive, whose team is in the market for a receiver. I'm not going to say it was he, but I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, that could have been anybody, bro. That could have been anybody.
You're right.
Bills, maybe? Maybe,
perhaps. Anyway, continuing. However, another team's GM said he believes the 49ers might ultimately accept a second-round selection. Such a deal might become more enticing to Lynch and head coach Kyle Shanahan if the pick were near the start of the second round and packaged with another selection, say a 2025 third-rounder. Let me stop there. I'm making that trade all day. If I can trade the 51st overall pick, I'm making that trade all day. And even if I have to package a 2025 third round pick, I'm doing that too. Because next year we have a first, we have a second, we would have a third traded, we have a fourth, we have 2 fifths, we have a sixth, and we have like 3 sevenths.
Right.
So we have the capital to make up for trading the third rounder. I'm making that trade all day if that's the case. But this is coming from Michael Silver of the San Francisco Chronicle, which is very credible. Michael Silver is an NFL Network analyst, or he was. I don't know if he still is. I haven't watched it in months. So it is coming from someone that is very credible, someone that is within the knowledge of reporting, of having sources, and getting the details he needs to know. So, and the fact that all these Brandon Aiyuk rumors keep coming back up, the fact that they are so constant, there is truth here. Like, this could actually happen. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up, but I do believe it's very possible.
Keep in mind, he notes that the Niners and Aiyuk are far apart on negotiations for a lucrative contract extension.
Yeah.
So the Niners they want to pay Aiyuk, but Aiyuk wants more than the Niners are offering.
Yes.
And now that's pretty much come to a point where the Niners may just have to come to a business decision.
Yeah, and I understand why they would want a first-round pick because they're going to need to replace them immediately. Now, it is a receiver-rich draft, like a GM alluded to I would imagine Michael Silver here.
Yeah.
That they can take a receiver anytime. So if for example, we were to trade the 51st overall pick, they could select a receiver with that selection. Who that is? Maybe they package a couple picks to trade up for a certain guy. Just saying, man, this is gaining steam, and it's very likely. And there were reports, there were rumors for weeks now that the Steelers have reached out to Aiyuk, or to the Niners for Aiyuk. In fact, there is an update on the guy that initially broke out the rumors, which was Andrew Filipponi on 93.7 The Fan.
Yeah, this was at the crack of dawn pretty much, early this morning. He said, sources, the Steelers really like Brandon Aiyuk. I mean,
No shit.
Yeah, no duh.
Yeah, I like Creed Humphrey. Can we have him? I like Patrick Mahomes. Can we have him?
They discussed what a trade package would look like, and that could include a 2025 first-round pick. They just need the 49ers to show interest in talking trade.
No, not at first next year. Because of the positions that we've previously mentioned that will need to be addressed next year, which could very well most likely be quarterback, linebacker, defensive line, and whatever else might happen. Maybe a corner again. I don't know. I'm not trading a first next year. A second next year, perhaps. Perhaps.
I feel like a first-rounder this year or next year is too pricey.
Unless they are swapping first-round picks, I'm not trading a first this year or next year.
No.
I'm not. I would trade the 51st pick because it's very likely they take a receiver with that pick anyway. So if you're going to draft a receiver, you might as well grab one of the best in the league. And I know.
What?
You would have to pay him.
Well, yes, but like Mike Silver alluded to, to accept a second rounder would be more enticing if it were to be an early second round selection.
Sure.
That's something that San Francisco is probably going to be wanting to grab if they were to trade Aiyuk.
You're correct.
The way I see it, with how much and how vocal John Lynch has been about wanting to keep Aiyuk, wanting to sign him to an extension, because you got to keep in mind, they're still Super Bowl contenders. They're still going to be in that window, though that window is closing, because how many times does Kyle Shanahan have to get back to the Super Bowl only to lose? Right. Their window's going to close sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
But they're going to want to keep Aiyuk to be a part of that, because Aiyuk was a major factor into helping them get to the Super Bowl last year.
Yes.
Aiyuk is a major factor, a major player on that team, on that offense for Brock Purdy.
Yes. So
big time.
That's why he's going to be garnering a lot of attention.
And it shows how important that they want to keep Aiyuk.
Yes.
But if they cannot come to terms to an agreement,
they have no choice. They
will listen to offers if it comes to that. If Aiyuk's saying no to this deal, like final offer, he's saying no, Lynch will listen to offers.
Well, let's put it this way. If he doesn't get a contract extension, he's going to get the fifth-year option. Would he play on that? I think he would. Unless he holds out for leverage. Very much like Debo.
And in that case, then the Niners are screwed. They may just have to take whatever at that point. They may have to settle for less.
And then whatever team trades for him would have to pay him. And I think it's worth paying him. I think the Steelers can afford it. I think any other wide receiver team can afford it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all because, like he said, they might want an early second-round pick.
It would be more enticing for them.
The Patriots could do that because they're going to draft a quarterback. They're going to need a target for him, won't they?
Yeah.
They could sacrifice the 34th pick. How about the Cardinals right after him? The 35th pick.
Maybe the Panthers? The Panthers
Although
got
the Cardinals,
the 32nd and the 39 pick. Who's to say Carolina doesn't trade one away? They pay him the big bucks.
Very possible. Very possible. Granted, they have their three guys, but they're going to need someone from Bryce Young.
Yeah, of course. They're going to want a big target. What about the Bills? You know? The Bills, you know, they have the 28th pick or something like that.
Yes.
They need wide receiver. There's no doubt in everybody's mind they're taking wide receiver round one.
Yeah,
they were aggressive.
No question.
They were aggressive in trading for Stephon Diggs how many years ago? And they paid him big bucks.
Yeah.
Although they're dealing with dead cap with trading away Stephon Diggs, that still may not stop him from pursuing Brandon Aiyuk and giving him that money and replacing Stephon Diggs with Brandon Aiyuk. All they had to do was trade away the first rounder that they were going to use to draft a receiver anyway.
Yeah, so that's very likely. And it would be out of the Bills or the 49ers conference.
Yeah, completely.
So I can see that.
The way I see it when it comes to the 49ers and John Lynch's perspective, with how much that they want him, but if they can't keep him, they're going to want a first.
Absolutely.
Because of how much that they don't want to get rid of him, how much they don't want to let him go. But if they have to, they're going to want major capital.
And I could absolutely see a team being so desperate to trade a first for Aiyuk because other teams have traded first rounders for receivers previous years. Adams, Hill, A.J. Brown, even Marquise Brown.
Yeah, for the love of God. Yeah.
So it's very, very possible. All I'm saying is I think this Aiyuk news or the rumors are very true. I think it's very, very possible we could see a move on draft day. Could it be the Pittsburgh Steelers? Anything's possible. We all know that. I'm going to say most likely not. Has Khan had conversations? I do believe he has. And that's regards to any team about any wide receiver. I do believe they have had calls.
Yeah.
But it seems like Omar Khan's aggressive. So it's either go big or go home.
Yeah.
Especially at wide receiver. Seems like he's really trying to win now. And Aiyuk is a guy you trade for to win now.
Yeah. But when it comes to a deadline for Omar Khan, when it comes to him pursuing a top player of a needy position, like Jalen Johnson last year before the trade deadline, cornerback was so miserable. Outside of JBJ last year, the play was so bad. Khan was aggressive in pursuing Jalen Johnson. He really wanted Jalen Johnson. Every Steelers fan wanted Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
And he knew that he had to give him a long-term extension afterward because he was a pending free agent.
Right.
That didn't stop him from trying to pursue to acquire Jalen Johnson. Not that much different with Brandon Aiyuk. The thing is, he wasn't desperate into getting him. Like whatever the Bears demanded, what they wanted, what they pounded the table for, Khan wasn't desperate in getting that guy, so he didn't make the deal. But could that same approach happen with Brandon Aiyuk?
I don't know. But it's also not normal for them to trade for a big receiver and then pay him the highest paid contract in Steelers history or Steelers wide receiver history without even playing a snap.
Right.
But this is a different Steelers.
It is.
So I do believe that a move could happen. To the Steelers, I don't know. If they are willing to accept less and if they're forced to accept less, yeah, I am making that trade for the 51st pick to San Francisco. But it's very likely because of Aiyuk's value and the player he is, some team will trade a first. And for me, as a Steelers fan, I am not trading a first unless you're swapping first-rounders. Mm-hmm. But the first round in general, not doing it.
No, it's too pricey.
Not doing it.
Second is much more tolerable. It's easier to digest. But I don't know if San Fran will want to settle for that unless they have no choice.
Right.
It depends on the circumstances. It depends on how Aiyuk's feeling.
Yeah.
When it comes to contract talks.
And you do got to look at the Steelers' history. They are so good at drafting receiver that they can absolutely take this rich receiver class and grab a stud anywhere.
Yeah.
And they most likely will. I think we all have the full confidence that they will.
Yeah.
So that is the update on Brandon Aiyuk. Anything's possible at the end of the day. I think a trade could happen on draft day.
Could happen tomorrow. Who knows?
John Lynch is all about keeping his stars. He's trying to win. He hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, dude. As a GM and the team he's built, he hasn't had one championship that's paid off for it yet.
And he wants the players responsible that got him to that point to help him win that.
And that's going to be paying Aiyuk what he wants. So you're going to have to do it. The Niners are going to have to do it if they really want to, remain in that status for sure. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day. But there is some other rumors going around regarding the Steelers in their potential first-round pick.
Yes.
And it does involve them trading up for that guy. Now, these are purely rumors. Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda, he's a familiar name because he has been making reports or rumors or whatever around so many things all offseason. But one of the more recent things he has talked about is that before Deontay Johnson was traded, he did say that Steelers would trade Deontay Johnson if the price is right, for the right price. Dante Jackson, I didn't think was the right price, but they trade him regardless. Now, whether he actually had sources or he knew something and he was just, or he was just, commenting on something or trying to add fuel to a rumor that was already there, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what he said regarding Deontay Johnson, and something happened. So he said today that the Steelers and the Broncos are talking about potentially trading up for the 12th pick. And the Broncos need to trade back because they have 12 and then 76. They don't have a second-round pick. They need all the capital they could use.
Yeah. And reason being is because Steelers are talking with the Broncos about trading up to the 12th overall pick if Toledo cornerback Quinion Mitchell is still available on the board.
Yes, and this is what... What's his name? This is what... what's his name?
Tony Pauline?
Thank you. This is what he put on sportskeeda.com regarding this article. He says, in that quote, which teams could trade up? Last week during an appearance on the Seahawks Draft Blog podcast with Rob Statton, I speculated that the Philadelphia Eagles could potentially trade up with Seattle, jumping ahead of Jacksonville for one of the higher-rated cornerbacks. And according to sources, the cornerback the Eagles desire is Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah.
As of Tuesday afternoon, I'm told the Eagles are speaking with the Broncos about trading for the 12th selection so they can draft the Toledo corner. First of all, there's not even any guarantee he'll be there.
No, there's not.
He could very well be the first corner off the board over Terry and Arnold. The Broncos, in turn, will receive the Eagles' first-round pick, the 22nd selection, which they would use to draft quarterback Bo Nix, a strategy I outlined on Monday. First of all,
That's his speculation.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, he's just going pure speculation.
That's his speculation. That's what it is. That's not confirmed.
By the way, that would be terrible by the Broncos. The Eagles have a pair of picks in round 2 and would part with one of them to move up to the Broncos spot, which they can sacrifice. This assumes the Pittsburgh Steelers don't beat out the Eagles for that pick. I'm told the Steelers and Broncos are talking trade, as Pittsburgh is another team that is targeting Mitchell and would move up to draft him. Again, there's no guarantee Mitchell would be there. And if he is there, maybe it's possible he falls to 20. Anything's possible. Who fucking knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Did anyone see Cleveland Farrell going 4th overall to the Raiders in 2019? Like, anything's possible.
No.
Anything's possible. Did anyone see Alex Leatherwood going to the Raiders in the first round years ago? Anything's possible.
Big time.
Did anyone see the Steelers trading up for a linebacker in 2019? Anything's possible.
Did anyone anticipate the Steelers trading up for Broderick Jones last year?
Yeah, like,
anything's possible. Big time.
so, but the Steelers trading up for pick 12 in front of the Raiders for Quinion Mitchell, first of all, why would they trade up for a corner? Now, I cannot deny, Quinion Mitchell and JPJ would be an elite duo.
Dude, Mitchell is fantastic. The guy's a stud. In my opinion, he's number 1 corner in this draft class.
He's your number 1.
He's my number 1. Mitchell
Okay.
Mitchell is freaking freakish.
Arnold's my number 1.
That's fine. That's your opinion. But Mitchell,
They're like right there,
yeah,
bro.
the guy's locked down. Mitchell is fantastic. I could see him absolutely being taken in the top 10. But if he were to fall out, if he were to drop for some strange reason, yeah, I could see a team absolutely trade up to acquire him to fix that position. The Eagles, absolutely, they make the most sense. They need cornerback help. Yeah. They can give away capital because they're in win now mode.
Yes, they are.
The Steelers, however, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, because it would make the Deontay Johnson trade a little more confusing. Like, you trade your number 1, 2, my opinion, 2. You trade
Johnson. You trade
Johnson to the Panthers for Dante Jackson. You're starting cornerback 2 opposite Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Then you proceed to trade up for a corner? That makes no sense.
It doesn't. And
honestly, if there was, I don't mean to cut you off, but if there was a position for them to trade up for, I would think it would be offensive tackle, like last year. Mm-hmm. And if they're trading up in front of the Raiders with the Broncos, if Fuaga's still there, that's who you trade up for.
That's who they should trade up for.
Because they've shown interest. They had a top 30 visit with him, and he's your day 1 starting right tackle, and we brought you to left. Dan Moore, you can pack your bag, sit on the fucking bench.
Yeah.
That's who you trade up for. Not a cornerback.
No. Trading up for a defensive player when the Steelers have offensive holes that they need to fix, like center and wide receiver, to trade up for a defensive player and trading away capital, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes
it's
no
something
sense
that I would not be comfortable with. It's something that would leave me scratching my head on with the Omar Khan and the Steelers making that decision.
Well, let's also talk about this. If they trade up from 20 to 12, that's 8 spots. How much would it cost?
It's going to cost a 2nd rounder. Denver has number 12. After that, they have 76. 12 to 76 is a long freaking wait.
So they would have to trade the 51st pick.
Denver's going to want a 2nd rounder.
And then I would imagine the Steelers don't want to go from 12 to 84 without a selection.
No.
So they would have to package 84 and 98 and whatever to move up into the 2nd round, I would imagine. Unless they just trust the depth of this draft. And they
84 and 98 just to get a 2nd rounder back.
Well, I'm saying if they want to get back into the 2nd round.
Yes. I get what you're saying. But then they're out 2 3rd rounders.
You're right, but that's under the impression that they are really comfortable with the depth of this draft as well as who they have on the roster.
But
now.
that wouldn't make sense.
No,
that just would not make sense in the Steelers' case.
No,
that would just be a stupid decision.
Right. So if they're going to trade up for somebody,
that would be them neglecting all the other holes that they have to fix.
Yeah.
The draft picks that they have at the moment, they can fix all the other positions that they got to fill. Hell, trading back in the first round, like we alluded to with the mock drafts earlier, would give them an extra couple picks, and they could fix even more holes.
Yes.
They could fill those positions.
Yeah, which we did earlier in the stream. So that's why I don't understand the trade up scenario, especially for a corner when you already have your starting corner, whether anyone likes it or not, and you can take a corner later.
No, what the Steelers team at the moment, trading up for a defensive player doesn't make sense. When you have holes on offense that you got to fix, you can't neglect.
Right.
You have to take care of them. You have to fill them.
Yeah, and there's just too many holes on the team to sacrifice your second round pick.
Now, if a defensive player were to fall down to 20, and if it's the best player available scenario,
oh yeah, like if Mitchell's there at 20 or Cooper DeJean,
that's more tolerable. That's more digestible. It makes sense
because
to a degree because it's best player available.
Because at least if they're there, you're not wasting picks.
No. You're getting them. You're getting a better player at a better projection.
But
they're still going defense. They're still going defense when there's other offensive positions that they have to fix.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely correct.
When the defense is, for the most part, stabilized.
Yeah. So I don't understand this report by Tony Pauling of Sportskeeda. I don't. In fact,
that could just be speculation. That could just be a smokescreen. This has to be a smokescreen.
No, because if there is truth to this. This could very well most likely be a smokescreen because, first of all, why would the Steelers leak their plans 2 days before the draft? Why would they do that?
No,
they're going to leak their plans of trading up with the Broncos for Quinion Mitchell. They're going to let all the other teams know that.
Yeah, no.
They're not leaking their plans to anybody. No team is doing that. So if this is true, it's a smokescreen.
Yeah.
To get teams to select a guy or for teams to take other guys so that a certain player that the Steelers like drops or maybe it entices someone else to trade up so they can take the guy so that they can take one of their favorites later. It could very well be a smokescreen.
Yeah.
A very smart one. The Steelers are all about smokescreens. They did it with Malik Willis when we drafted Kenny.
Yeah.
They either would have been a terrible option, but
we know.
They did it with Malik Willis.
I think the only time it didn't happen was Najee Harris. That was the worst kept secret, but they still got their guy.
Because they knew they could.
Yes. They knew they could.
Yeah.
Just trading up for a defensive player with the Steelers' current situation.
Or even trading up in general. Like, I do want Fuaga. If they were going to trade up for someone, that's the only guy you trade up for.
Yeah.
That's the only guy.
But you still have to, because it's Denver. They're going to want a second rounder.
Yes.
They're not waiting from 12 to 76. They're going to want something in the middle.
Right.
You can't get rid of a second rounder when you got to use that pick to fix whatever.
Yeah, no. So I'm not trading up at all. Trade back is the better scenario.
Big time.
But if there is some truth to this, which is very likely, I can't rule anything out. Yeah, it's probably just a smokescreen in regards to the Steelers, and they're hoping that someone takes the bait and then a player that they really like falls at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Who that is, I guess we'll find out in 2 nights, won't we? 2 nights from tonight. So just gonna throw it out there. But that's some of the rumors going around. That's some of the speculation in which there will be a lot of it as we inch closer and closer towards the NFL draft. Tomorrow there will probably be more. Thursday there will be a bunch regarding every team in the NFL. Take whatever you want seriously. Take whatever you want to be legitimate. Just all I'm going to say is take everything with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything you see. But regarding to the Steelers, again, I can't rule anything out.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
No, I just don't see the ideal situation here. But you know, it's one of those things where it could happen. But I'm not trading up for a corner. And regardless, I'm not trading up. But if Fuaga drops enough and you don't have to give up a lot, then you do it.
Yeah, of course.
Then you do it. But that's just my own personal hopes and dreams. But, you know, that always doesn't happen, does it? It doesn't always happen.
No.
But that's pretty much it, man. You know, that's all that's going around. I mean, there isn't really much else that is that's happening here.
Yeah, it's just quiet at the moment. I would definitely imagine within the next 24 to 48 hours that news is just going to be pouring. Rumors are just going to be pouring all over social media about God knows what.
Yeah,
God knows who.
There's going to be plenty. There's going to be plenty that's going to be coming out, man. So just
and when it comes to that, just take everything with a grain of salt. When it happens,
if it happens,
it happens.
yeah.
And
All
that's that.
All I can say is, all I can think is, come draft time, so much is going to go down that's going to sideswipe everybody.
It just might.
It happens every year, but I feel like this year, like there's going to be some crazy shit that goes down.
Well, I remember the 2022 draft, like all the trades that were happening with the wide receivers, AJ Brown, Marquise
even
Brown.
2021, man, 2022.
Yeah, like the trades were just ridiculous. This is a common thing that happens every draft year. It's the exciting part about the NFL draft.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, you don't. And in regards to the Steelers, bro, maybe I'm falling for the rumors. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up for the rumors. Perhaps I am. I just think something crazy is going to go down in regards to the Steelers. And that can be in relation to anything. Not just the Aiyuk, not just our suggestion of Cortland Sutton or them potentially trading up or trading back. I just think something wild is going to happen.
No, you do have to take it into consideration, especially with Omar Khan.
Yeah.
The man is literally has all offers on the table. He'll talk about anything and whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to better this team.
Yeah.
For the right price, if it's the right move.
Yes. But let me get you guys' opinion in the chat, man. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat for you. How do I want to title this? Let me put it this way. Would you like an Aiyuk trade? Let me put that. Aiyuk is not a Steeler. I disagree. I think he fits Arthur Smith's mold perfectly. I think he fits the Steelers' mold perfectly. Do I think it happens? No, I do not. I am putting my foot down right now. I do not think it happens. But I didn't think everything that happened this offseason would happen. I didn't think that we would go out and get Fields. I didn't think we'd go out and get Wilson. I didn't think we'd be able to pay Patrick Queen.
I didn't think that we'd trade Deontay.
I didn't think Kenny Pickett. I thought Kenny Pickett was going to be the starter. I thought 3 months ago, I thought at this certain time we would be looking at Kenny Pickett and Ryan Tannehill. That's what I thought.
That was everybody's
fear.
Speculation. That was everybody's fear. Thank Christ that's not happening.
So
it is revamped.
So Omar Khan is telling us, hey, just sit back and watch. Shut the hell up. Just watch. That's what he's telling us.
Let me cook.
Pretty much.
Let me cook.
That's what he's doing, man. And he's going to keep cooking, bro. Even if nothing crazy happens, I think we're going to come away with a very good draft class.
He's probably stirring something up.
Probably. Well, as we know, it's obvious these phone calls are going to be ringing all night. They probably already are. They're discussing so much. And that's not just Aiyuk. That's just pick swaps, trading, or just in regards to whoever. Whatever, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
This Electric Visuals in the chat says, the aura this quarterback room has is great. It's incredible. It's incredible, man. I love it. It's one thing you got to credit the entire Steel. And I mean Khan, I mean Waddle, I mean the scouts, I mean Tomlin. Like, you got to credit everyone for revamping this offense.
Mm-hmm.
They revamped a lot of it. They
fixed quarterback.
They fixed quarterback. They fixed OC. They traded away Deontay. They're going to bring in a receiver or two. They're going to change center. I mean, they revamped so much. So much that was so necessary.
That was just...
The last domino was Dan Moore.
Yeah. They're fixing and revamping so much that Colbert left behind.
People saying we might use Fields in the trade. Why the hell would we use... What?
That doesn't make any sense.
First of all, fucking Fields couldn't get anybody to trade for him.
No.
Why
The Bears couldn't. The Bears settled for a 6 that could turn into a 4th. Next year.
Why would we trade Justin Fields away? No one wanted this man.
What would we get? A 7th? Do we need an extra 7th?
Why would we trade Fields? Why would we trade our backup?
And then your backup would be Kyle Allen. Do we really want that?
No.
No, I'm taking Fields all day, every day as the backup.
You're gonna let him sit. You might play him on the field a little bit in some packages to keep the defenses on their toes, And then you kind
They're
of...
not going to trade away Kenny Pickett because he didn't want to be here because he got butt hurt to replace him with Justin Fields just to trade him away and then draft who? Joe Milton? No, thank you.
No.
He's not trade bait.
No.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I agree. It just doesn't make sense.
No,
we're not trading Fields. Why the hell would we trade Fields? The Bears couldn't find a trade partner. Why would we trade him?
They're better off trading away their backup tackle. Like,
why would the Steelers trade for somebody just to trade them? Especially a guy like Fields. Makes no sense.
Who do they think he is? Brandon Cooks? Like, come on, man.
No. If he had Brandon Cooks' value, he would have been traded ages ago.
Oh, man.
All they did on offense is add 2 quarterbacks. That's nothing much. They added an OC. They added 2 quarterbacks, and they're going to add a center and a receiver. I mean, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
They bettered the quarterback room. They bettered the OC room. They're going to better center, and they're going to better receiver. At least I think so.
And they know they had to. Khan knew he had to. Tomlin knew he had to.
It's not
after last year.
It's not a complete revamp, but what they need to upgrade, they have. All I know is we're going to get a completely different offense. We're going to get a completely offensive scheme. You know, we're not going to see the same shit this year. I can confidently say that.
Just with these additions, it's a good step in the right direction. What it's all about is the execution on that field.
Yeah, no, because I still have my concerns. I still have my doubts regarding Arthur Smith and scheming a passing game.
Yeah. You know, we know he's very run heavy. That's his
but his
mentality.
His way of scheming a passing game compared to who we had prior is better. First of all, we're finally going to use eye for him. We're finally going to be under center. We're finally going to use some play action. We might see some middle of the field. Like, that alone is upgradable.
Yeah.
And with the weapons he's going to have, hopefully he can scheme finally a top 15 offensive passing game.
Yeah. With Russ as his quarterback, you know, I mean.
But it is better, man. It is better. It makes me a little excited. Makes me a little excited.
It's intriguing.
Yeah.
It is. With Kenny Pickett, I was not intrigued.
Imagine taking JPJ in first and then Aiyuk for the second pick. I mean, that's home run. That's a home run right there. That's incredible. Ronan, how do I say this name? I'll just call you Ronan or RG. RG says, all right, y'all, I'm out. All right, man. I appreciate you for tuning in, man.
Thanks for tuning in. You have a good night, bro.
And
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, 57% say no.
As far as would you like
An Aiyuk trade. 57% say no. It'll be one of those 50-50 deals. I mean, that's any Steelers move, but especially this one because
the capital that they may have to give up if they want to give up at the same time.
It would really
they got to pay him over $25 million. That's what he's reportedly seeking.
Yeah,
over 25. So he would be up there amongst the top of highest paid.
That could be a team's way of leveraging down, trading less for him.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe.
Just saying, man. Where are we at in the chat? Who will be week 1 starting? Justin Fields or Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson.
I anticipate Russ.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tomlin confirmed that. Russell Wilson will be the starter.
Yeah.
The only way Fields plays is if Wilson gets hurt or Wilson just shows his age.
Mm-hmm.
Or whenever he sees some time in certain packages, maybe we use him in some wildcat formations, maybe we use him some read options, maybe we use his legs in the red zone. Perhaps we will do a fake where we think we're going to run it with Fields, and then he finds an open George Pickens down the field, 70 yards. I'm trying to manifest something crazy happening, but you know, we can definitely fake defenses out. We can keep them guessing.
Fields got a pretty deep ball, man.
Yeah. First 2 cuts should have been the Hayward twins, Camus Washington's brother Silly as tight end and fullback. I will say this. I think Cam should have at least taken a pay cut.
I'm surprised he hasn't at this point. I feel like it's necessary.
At the beginning of the offseason, man, I told myself Cam needs to retire. I think he's not the same player he used to be. But if he were to retire, that would have added another entirely big hole on the defense. So we don't have to worry about that for now.
No.
Hopefully, because he had surgery and he'll be rehabbing, he's going to be healthy, that we can get another really good year at Cam. Hopefully. One last year, he goes out with a bang. Connor Hayward is underutilized, and he will be the fullback because Arthur Smith loves using a fullback. Connor Herod can play fullback.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you already have Pat Fryermuth. You got Darnell Washington, and they brought in, what's his name? Michael Pruitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's a Arthur Smith alumni, I guess, right? You know, he's been wherever Arthur Smith's been, Pruitt's followed with him, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just one of his guys.
So Hayward is going to be getting the fullback role.
Right.
But at the same time, he can be used as that Swiss Army knife as he was in Michigan when he was a fullback there.
Michigan State, yes.
Yeah, Michigan State, you're right.
Yeah. If Adrian Cooper is there at 51, I think Tomlin thinks heavily about drafting him. Cooper is a nice spy, or Pat Wilson. I would not be upset, says Rob Lightfoot. Yeah, Adrian Cooper is going to be an absolute stud, man.
Him and Wilson, they're both dogs.
Yeah, I personally put Cooper as my linebacker 1 because Wilson has the
Injury
concerns.
Those are the red flags, the concerns there.
Peyton Wilson has some injury concerns. I know he was healthy all last year. He changed his rehab. He changed his diet. He changed his
conditioning,
his physical therapy.
Yeah.
So like he looks good to go. His medical's panned out. He did all the workouts, all the drills, injury free.
And he stood out big time.
But I think Cooper is my number 1 linebacker. But if he is there at 51, yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to pass on it because he's best player available and he does fulfill a need.
He does. He's got great size. He's very athletic. He's a hitter. He's a thumper at that position.
Him at the Senior Bowl.
They did.
I think there's just bigger needs to take, but linebacker is a need, so I will.
A guy to keep an eye on. But there are other positions that the Steelers could address much earlier than linebacker.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But hey, again, you never know. You never know.
Let me see. I would love Cooper, but honestly, I think linebackers will drop to the 3rd, and maybe we trade up there. Yeah, that's why we trade back in our last mock here. We did, and drafted Jeremiah Trotter Jr. at 98. I think the interest is there, the need is there, the bloodlines. It makes all the sense in the world. Let me see. Get the Yale guy in the 3rd round. You're talking about Kyron? I can never pronounce his name.
Ain't he wasn't he the left tackle over at Yale?
Yeah.
Yeah, guy's a stud. Guy's very good. I think he sustained an injury though, which cut his season short.
Yes, but he's a stud.
He is a left tackle though. I'm kind of looking more over at right tackle because of Khan's statement of Broderick eventually moving over to left.
Right.
But Kyron is nice. I think wherever he goes, Kyron's going to be a stud left tackle at the next level.
I can see the Steelers taking him in the 3rd if he's there. I can see the Steelers taking him in the 3rd.
If he's there.
That would mean Broderick would remain at right tackle. Unless they think he can be right tackle, but then you put in a guy out of position. And which guy do you want to put out of position more, Broderick or Kyron?
Yeah. Now, Kyron does also have positional flexibility. He was left guard for the most part in 2021 until he moved over full-time to
he's a tackle.
Left tackle.
He's a tackle.
He's got the frame for a tackle.
He's a tackle. Some team will throw a nice 2nd or 3rd round flyer at him, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tackle. He has the potential to be a nice, lengthy starter in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the guys I looked at early in this draft process at tackle. And then,
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah. Let me see. Who is returning kickoffs? Rules need 2 returners in the catch area. Well, that's going to be Cordero Patterson and Calvin Austin.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, your special teams is set. Their special teams is they're fulfilled.
Oh, they completed special teams, man.
Yeah.
Got Boz. They signed a new punter. They extended the long snapper. They extended Killebrew. They just need some extra gunners in the receiver and cornerback room, and there you go.
Yeah.
Do you guys like Brian Thomas in the 1st round, Zach Frazier 51? I do like Brian Thomas. I would not hate receiver in the 1st round. If you can secure a center in the 2nd, like a Frazier at 51, that's a home run. That's a steal.
Yeah.
We even considered Zach Frazier at 27 in this mock.
Yeah, we did.
So,
We did.
I could see him being taken in the 1st. I could see some 70 teams definitely taking him late 1st. But if he's there at 51, that's a home run. So, yeah, if you want to wait on for center and go like receiver or tackle or whatever, I mean, you just got to hope and pray that center falls.
Yeah, really hope and pray.
Ricky Pearsall will be our wide receiver. I can see him catching balls from Russ. Draft Ricky Rooney's, says Menard's Maniac. He's one of our favorites, man. We mocked him at 51 in this mock.
Damn straight.
One of our favorites. There's so many favorites, actually, but my true favorite who I really want at receiver is Leggett.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be there at 51. If he is, then, oh, my God. You don't think twice. You don't. You grab Leggett. But if he's not there, yeah, Pearsall's a close guy there.
Of course.
I don't want to rule out Roman Wilson because of the Michigan connection. I don't want to rule out Malachi Corley either. The options are endless, let's be honest.
Yeah. There's also Keon Coleman and Jermaine Burton, but I wouldn't really go with those guys unless the guys you mentioned earlier are off the board and you have no choice.
Right.
Then they get those guys, then it would make sense. But I'm going the guys that we stated earlier first and foremost.
Yeah, I just like those guys.
Those are the more projected, better talent.
Right.
Guy with players with higher potential.
Yeah. Rob Lightfoot says Steelers are taking Barton or Mims at 20. Very possible. Very possible. In the stream we did yesterday, we put him along with the 5 prospects that's on the radar.
Yeah, we did.
5 most likely first round picks. It was Barton, it was JPJ, it was Mims, it was Dejan, and it was A.D. Mitchell. So I could definitely see Barton or Mims being the pick at 20. I wouldn't hate either because it's O-line.
Yeah.
But those are a little bigger gambles. Bigger gambles. They're good. They're good. Their ceiling is sky high, but they are bigger gambles. How do you feel about Keon Coleman at 51? I don't hate it, man. I actually like Coleman. I like his size. I know he's not the fastest guy, and we do need speed in the receiving room.
Yeah. That's something that they maybe want to look at for sure.
Yeah. He was a stud last year.
Now, he's got great size. I love his size.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a big guy. He knows how to use it. I feel like he could work on a couple of things here and there. You know, his adjustments and everything like that. His body control just a little bit.
He's not the biggest athlete.
He's not the flashiest either.
No, he's not the most athletic receiver for his size. He's not.
But that doesn't mean he's not productive. That doesn't mean he's not good. He is good.
No, he's very productive. He has the size. He has the blocking ability. So, like, I do like him at 51. I do believe, though, like, if the Steelers are going to draft a receiver, it's someone they brought in for a top 30 visit. It's someone that they have had communication, they've had chemistry, they had an idea how they're going to fit in the scheme.
Yeah.
Especially with new OC. Coleman was not a top 30 visit, so I don't anticipate him being a heavy favorite to the Steelers, but he's an option. Mm-hmm. Anyone's an option, really. I saw a comment about Connor Williams. What do you think about Connor Williams? I'm not signing Connor Williams only because his medicals are unknown and they won't be known until probably June.
Yeah, that's a big risk there. The only way if they were to sign Williams is if they don't draft a center, but I don't see them not drafting a center.
Or maybe they wait for center and they draft one of the later ones, like round 3 or 4, and then, yeah, you sign Connor Williams if his medicals pan out in June. That's the only way I can see Connor Williams being a Steeler. Otherwise, if they take a center early, yeah, you're ruling that out.
Yeah. And that center's day one starter.
Yeah.
Completely.
Right. Would you guys get Kalen King to team back up with JPJ? No. Not a fan. Not a fan. I know he has chemistry, but not a fan. Just not the biggest guy. There's so many other corners I actually like over Kalen King. If they want to double dip later, if they want an outside guy.
Yeah.
Ronaldo Green. If you wanted to put Jerry Jones outside, you could, but he's the slot weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kamal Hayden from Tennessee. I like Josh Wallace from Michigan. I think there's MJ Devonshire from Pitt.
Yeah, of course.
There's Dwight McGovern from, I think, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. He's another solid guy. Elijah Jones, Rob says right there in the chat. Elijah Jones is a freakish athlete.
Yes.
Very versatile, very productive player, too, in Boston College.
Yeah, so not a big fan. We have better options at corner than Kalen King.
Yeah, I could see them going the chemistry route there. But, I mean, like, the tape I seen from King, I was not impressed.
No.
I see him. I really see him fall into maybe the 6th or 7th round. That might just be me, but based off his tape, I can see it.
Yeah. Connor Williams is high risk, but also insanely high reward. Dolphins' offense was top 3, then fell off after he got hurt. He's a top 3 interior lineman. He is. You're right. He was one of the best centers, arguably the best center last year until he got hurt. That move he made was a career saver, but that injury might be a career ender. I've heard reports it might force him to retire. That might be how bad the torn ACL is. If he recovers well, then yeah, I would sign him if we don't draft a center early.
But I mean, look at who they already have recovering from a torn ACL. It's Cole Holcomb. And they don't even know when his recovery time is.
Yeah.
They know he's working hard to get back, but they don't know the extent of his recovery time.
Right.
Do they really want to deal with that again at the center position?
Probably not.
I know I wouldn't.
Probably not. Some other team will probably throw a flyer at him if he doesn't retire.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Imagine if the Dolphins get Worthy. I could see it.
Oh man, that's probably going to happen.
I swear. Fucking Mike McDaniels is like the new Al Davis. He's all about speed. Speed. His entire scheme is based on speed.
But it works. It works for his style. It works for his scheme.
I know
it works for Tua's arm.
Yeah.
It works for his running backs. Achante last year, my goodness. Raheem Mostert, my goodness.
I know, man. See, I can absolutely see it. Would you take Brendan Rice in the later rounds if they're? Yes, I would.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I like, and the bloodlines is obvious. The Steelers brought in Taj Washington, his teammate, for a top 30 visit. You're telling me the interest won't be for Rice? There will be. If he's there in round 4, yeah, I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't draft USC cats often, but they did a lot more West Coast scouting this year than they ever have. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility for sure. Going back to Worthy, I want to get back to Worthy real quick.
Xavier,
this is a thought that came across my mind. Would you take Worthy in the second if he's there?
See, I mean, that's debatable. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about that too. That's crossed my mind every now and then. The Steelers, obviously, they're looking at A.D. Mitchell. They sent their new wide receiver coach Zach Azzani to Texas Pro Day to talk and scout the receivers.
He obviously went to dinner with not A.D. Mitchell, with Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, so that's interesting right there.
Yeah,
Worthy is a nice prospect. He is very good alongside Mitchell. He's obviously got the speed. We all know that. He's got good size for it. Because of his 40, I could see him being a first-round selection.
Oh, yeah.
I really could.
Yeah.
A Chief, absolutely.
Well,
Bill, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I think Steelers love athletes and they love combine warriors.
Yeah, they do. But if he were to fall into the second, and if he's there, I could see the Steelers' interest absolutely being there.
Right.
And I wouldn't hate it.
He's not the prototypical receiver, though.
I wouldn't hate it.
He's not the prototypical Steelers receiver, though. But the Steelers are doing typical Steelers
stuff.
So,
yeah.
swear jar. Is Worthy another Dree Archer? His hands were suspect and he's small. That's the concern. I mean, they are drafting based on speed. His hands are a concern.
Yeah,
he is almost one-dimensional.
Yeah, and it didn't work out for Dree Archer.
Right,
We all know that.
There are negatives there. I mean,
John Ross.
John
Ross for the Bengals. Boy, is that a miss for them.
See, so I think Worthy's stealing could be like another Hollywood Brown, a faster Hollywood Brown. But even Hollywood Brown wasn't all that.
No, I never got the hype outside the fact that, he's AB's cousin.
No, but he could be a better Hollywood. I think he could be.
He might be.
If in the right scheme. If in the right scheme.
I don't know. That could be Kansas City scheme. That could be Miami scheme.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love Cooper Beebe. James Daniels was a good center at Iowa. Yeah, I've looked at Cooper Beebe as well. I think he's going to be a nice third, maybe fourth round gem for sure. I think he's one of the nicer day 2 guards.
Yeah.
I'm not moving James Daniels, especially since he hasn't played the position in years. I'm not moving him. I know Con and
there's no
have
point.
To it.
There's no point.
Just stop moving people out of their fucking natural position.
There's no point.
Just draft someone that has played the position.
Yeah. It's simple as that.
Flexibility is for depth guys, not starters.
It's just tiring seeing people not in their rightful position.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Should we draft Luke McCaffrey? Will he be there in the 6th for us? I don't think the 6. maybe the 4th.
I think his name is rising up draft boards. I think he will be a early day 3 pick.
Yeah.
If he's there with the 119th pick, the Steelers shown a ton of interest in him.
Yeah.
A lot of interest in him.
Oh, yeah.
And the bloodlines. He's a McCaffrey.
Yes.
You're telling me they wouldn't want a McCaffrey? Who wouldn't want a McCaffrey?
Yeah. Who wouldn't want a Trotter or a Rice?
Yeah.
Jonathan Scott, who's been a member of 1 month. Appreciate you, John. He says, I heard someone say we are open up drafting a quarterback. I just, where?
Yeah, I don't see that.
Where are we drafting a quarterback?
I don't see that happening.
Where are we drafting a quarterback? We have 3 guys. They'll pick up an undrafted free agent for bodies.
Outside the top 3, which are obvious, after that, I don't see the hype in any of them. Bo Nix, I don't see the hype. J.J. McCarthy, I absolutely don't see the hype.
No.
Michael Penix, I think he's inconsistent. I feel like he's inconsistent. After that, no thank you. Outside the top 3, I don't really find this quarterback class to be that exciting after the top 3.
No, yeah, I agree. No, because everyone after, like, Drake May, who's my 3, would be a backup, or he'll have to sit for a little bit.
Yeah, developments.
Yeah.
Like it's got names.
I just don't know.
It's got names, but I don't know how far they could reach that potential that some people see. You know, people are saying Bo Nix could go in the top 20 or in the later first round. J.J. McCarthy could be going top 5, top 10. I don't see it.
There might be 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken before we select. Who knows?
It's a possibility.
Who knows?
For all we know, Denver may not trade number 12. They may take a quarterback right there and then.
Yeah.
The Raiders may take a quarterback right there and then.
Yeah.
Who else? Just whoever needs a quarterback, really. Seattle, they could take a quarterback. The Rams, they could take a quarterback.
Well, let's look at it here. So, number 1's going to be Caleb Williams. Number 2 could be Daniels or May. Number 3 will be whoever wasn't taking it too. Giants is a dark horse for a quarterback.
That's a big dark horse.
Titans, I think they need tackle more.
They'll settle with Levis. They'll give Levis a shot.
Falcons don't need quarterback. No. Vikings, absolutely. Broncos.
Vikings and Broncos and Raiders, absolutely.
So we're looking at McCarthy maybe to the Vikings, Penix to the Broncos, or vice versa. Is there anyone else?
That's too high for them.
I know, but
that is way too high.
They're desperate. They're desperate.
I know.
Who else needs a quarterback? Raiders. Unless they want to rely on Minshew.
You could also consider Seattle potentially. Geno's not going to be there for much longer.
No.
Probably not. The Rams, how many years does Stafford have? You know what I mean?
Well,
they
were a playoff team. Were they a playoff team last year?
Yeah, they were. But they played the Lions. Remember Matthew Stafford's return?
Oh, that's right. But they were a playoff team, so they're still going to rely on Stafford.
Yeah, but could they look toward the future long term?
Not
you know
early.
What I mean?
Not early.
What do you mean? They could be. This is their first round pick since 2016.
And they're not going to take a quarterback.
How do you know
they
that?
They need line. They need.
Bro, their line. Their line's fine. Their line's fine. They signed Jonah Jackson. They gave Kevin Dotson an extension. They got Steve Avila at center.
Well, when I meant line, I meant defensive line. They need.
Well, Kobe Toner broke out. Listen, I know he's.
They have no.
Yeah, I know. AD's retired. I know. Kobe Turner can't fill in those shoes. Nobody will.
You tell me they're gonna pass on like a Newton or a Byron Murphy?
I don't know, man. Maybe not.
I'm just saying.
They could think for the future. I have no idea.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I mean, all I know is the draft is going to be so unpredictable. It's going to be absolutely insane. And I can't wait, man. 48 hours from now, maybe we'll be picking. Maybe we won't because we'll be fucking taking forever because Roger Goodell swear jars. You know how the first round goes, bro. It's like 5 hours long. They take 17 minutes to select
first
every
overall
selection.
pick. The Bears are now on the clock. Then it'll go down to like 58 seconds. The pick is in.
It's like, we knew this 7 months ago.
Happens every year.
Every year.
Why delay it? Just make the call.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Rob with the 199 says, thoughts on Fields for the future?
I have my doubts. I'm not that confident he can be the future, but I have that benefit of the doubt because he's sitting. It would have been different. It would have been absolutely different if they kept Kenny and then traded for Fields. And then would have had them. And then Fields would be the starter because you're not starting Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have Russ and we have Fields to sit
and learn from Russ,
that is going to do him so many favors.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to do him very well. So that benefit of the doubt is there now. And I do think there is that potential he could improve in so many aspects that he could be the guy. So could he be? The answer is yes. I have my doubts because he does have the fumbling problem.
The turnovers are a big concern.
Turnovers, his ability to read defenses and look down the field is still questionable. But him sitting is going to do him wonders, dude. It has done wonders for multiple quarterbacks. It did wonders for Mason. It's done wonders for Jordan Love. It did wonders for A-Rod. I'm not comparing him to any of these guys, but you got to look at the previous guys that have sit, and it's done them incredible.
It's advanced their careers. It's made them into better players.
Yeah, because they have soaked up so much.
Yeah. All it takes is a little bit of patience with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That's what's going to have to come down to.
And if he does happen to start at some point this year, I'm excited. Regardless, I'm excited. This is different.
Mm-hmm.
This is an entirely different quarterback room. This is a quarterback room that you would have made in Madden, bro.
Yeah, big time.
That is now a reality. Two of the biggest names in regards to the Steelers quarterback room. And
As competition,
they're both here.
as competition for Pickett, yet both of them are replacing Kenny Pickett.
Right.
Can't ask for a better situation.
Right.
A better overall move, really.
Yeah.
The Rams are good. They got Jimmy G. I forgot they did. Okay, in that case, yeah, they're going D-line.
Wait, when the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, they signed Jimmy G as
What?
a backup. Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, wait, did he say that right?
Yeah.
What? Huh?
He's the backup for Stafford. Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, so in that case, I agree. They will go D-tackle.
Well, they have to. You don't fucking lose Aaron Donald and not take D-tackle. Swear jar.
He will miss the first 2 games of the 2024 season for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. I don't think anyone cares.
What be do?
Garoppolo was terrible.
What be do? JPJ comp is Creed Humphrey. That's a pretty high comp, but he is this year's Creed Humphrey.
The best.
And I'm not passing on that again. I'm sorry. I'm not.
No.
I'm not, dude.
No more neglecting center.
No. Just don't do that.
I really hope we take this sign down Thursday. I'm sorry. Like I swear.
This sign could be gone in 48 hours from now.
I hope so. I hope so.
One thing I know is this sign will be gone by Friday night. That's all I know.
Jonathan Scott with a $1 super chat. He just sends it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for the $1, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the George Washington. What is your dream trade back with? The Packers or the Cardinals? Particularly the Cardinals in the mock we just did.
Yeah, I feel like they're the teams that are more so in connection with trading back. Maybe the Niners. If the Niners were to trade up, because they got capital that they can give away. They got capital. Plenty.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners is absolutely a trade back option because, if they're going to trade for Aiyuk, you would swap first, ideally.
Right. But the Packers and the Cardinals, they're more ideal. And I can see it.
Well, yeah, because they actually have stuff to give up.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes the most sense. Anyone else? I don't know. I don't know who else they could trade back with. Maybe the Cowboys. Maybe the...
Why would the Cowboys trade up?
I don't know, because Jerry Jones is stupid.
He's all in.
All in for what? One and done again?
He's all in with Royce Freeman as his running back. Or Deuce Vaughn. Their running back room is ass.
They're absolutely taking Blake Corum. Or one of the top running backs.
What is his name? Jonathan Brooks?
Jonathan Brooks.
Texas
Trey
guy.
Benson.
Yeah.
They could take any of these cats, man.
They'll take running back second round.
They should.
First round, I have no
If they
idea.
take a running back first round, I will laugh because none of these running backs are first round caliber.
No. No, they are no more.
This my warm up, says Mason Smith with a bunch of question marks. I love Mason Smith. I think he's a very reliable or a viable option at 98. I think he could be very realistic at 98.
High upside.
Hunter Norzad at 98. Everyone is going to be mad until he's playing good when season starts. Yes, he's incredibly underrated. I never doubted that. I have looked into him. But the thing is, I'm not waiting to the end of the third round to take a center.
No.
I'm not even waiting to 84.
It's either round 1 or round 2 for me and Dan here.
Now, if they do wait on center and they want to take a guy like him later, then yes, you could.
Sure.
You very
But
well
then you're
could.
going into another. I'm not comparing this guy to him, but you're going to another Kendrick Green situation where you're neglecting the center position again. Then you're waiting till the later rounds or later day 2 selections to get a center where he would have to start day 1 when he's not ready for it.
Right. I don't know if Khan is in the same mindset where he thinks he can just wait on center. I mean, he might not be. But I mean, he is.
I don't know how comfortable I feel about waiting till the third round with center.
I don't feel comfortable with that. That's why we never mocked it.
No.
Never.
No.
But I do like Norzad. Is that how you pronounce his name? Hunter Norzad from
Sounds like it.
Norzad. I mean, he could be a viable third round option if they don't take one so early.
They just better hope that he is there if that's the case.
No, he will be. He will be. It's either gonna be him or the Wisconsin cat.
Oh, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Tanner.
Yeah, that guy.
I can never pronounce his last name, but I know it's Tanner. See if I can pronounce it. Bortolini. Tanner Bortolini from Wisconsin.
Great last name.
Yeah. He's a little bigger than Norzad.
Okay.
He is. Norzad is a little more versatile. He started pretty much ever on the line.
And that's what they're probably going to be looking for.
Yeah.
That flexibility.
Yeah. I know Bortolini has as well, but I think Norzad has more starting experience at every position.
Just get a center, man.
Oh, they will. But I just don't feel comfortable waiting to the third.
Neither do I.
I don't feel comfortable waiting to the third.
Get one of the top guys, one of the day 1 starting caliber guys.
Right. I don't know why, but I'm so high on Norzad. I might be tripping, but I got a good feeling. You're not wrong in saying that.
No.
I'm not saying you're wrong for saying that. You're not. I personally am not a fan of waiting. If they take him, I like the selection, but I'm just not a fan of waiting.
Yeah, listen, man, you're entitled to how you feel. You're entitled to your opinion.
Sounds like a pasta dish. The fuck?
Yeah,
Bortolini.
Bortolini loves tortellinis, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
With some vodka pasta sauce.
Sounds good right now. Not gonna
It
lie.
does sound good.
With some pan-seared chicken,
Oh, my God.
a little bit breaded.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sounds damn good.
Gotta go to my favorite bakery after this, man. I wonder if they got DoorDash. I'm dead ass.
Are they open?
Probably not.
Probably not. It's
No,
10:45
they're closed
Eastern,
right now.
bro.
They're closed right now. Shout out to the Alvaro Bakery.
Big time.
If you're from
They got great food.
Yes, they do. Shout out to Alvaro Bakery. But no, they're probably closed now. Maybe we get tomorrow. Maybe we
Yeah,
get for
there's
lunch.
always tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. There's always Thursday. Or Permanis. Hey, we're on vacation, man. We can eat whatever.
can.
We're
It's not that far from here.
Yeah. Where we at in the chat? Zach Frazier's my guy. Frazier in the second should be the center pick. If he's there at the second, yes, he's the pick. That's a home run selection. We just need to get JPJ at 20. He's top center. I love him at 20. I even love him better if we trade back and still
I
get
love
him.
both guys.
Yeah.
If we were to get either of these guys or Barton, if they were to go
I
that
don't
route,
hate
or
Ba-
even Cedric Van Pran Granger.
I don't hate Barton. I have a little more concern with him, but I don't hate Barton.
Yeah. Either of those top 4, I am comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because they're centers, and we're drafting a center. They're taking a high pick for a center.
Which wide receiver do you think we should go after? Draft or trade, says Tyler the Stoner 420. I hope he had a great 420, by the way.
Yeah.
Sure he did. Sure he did.
That's a great question, Tyler. It really is.
You know, I haven't really sat back and thought about it.
Yeah.
Who do I really want?
You get an unproven guy with a ton of potential, or you trade high capital and pay big money for for a proven worthy target. Where do you go, huh? You trade high capital? You pay the big bucks?
I would. I wouldn't
overpay.
But
you don't overpay.
But I
Or do you go with the Steelers' tendency?
the draft? Well, sure,
They're
I'm
known
going to the
for
draft.
it. They're known
I mean,
for it.
we mocked Ricky Pearsall in this mock. We love Corley, but I'm going with greater options, and those greater options are Leggett or McConkley.
Yeah.
McConkley would be great. I just don't see him being there in the second round. He could be a dark horse first-round pick, even if they trade back.
If he's there, number 51, if we don't select receiver, I think he's
He's a Steeler.
I think
he's a
the pick.
Steeler. No doubt about it. You can just.
There's no way he falls, but if for some unknown reason he were to,
That's the best route runner in the draft.
You run to the podium, you make the call, you make the selection, you secure Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
You get the Georgia Bulldog to go with the Bulldog you have now.
I even
with
think
the Bulldogs you have already.
perhaps another Bulldog tackle, maybe a Bulldog center. I don't know, man. We could just pull a fucking Eagles and just draft all the Bulldogs. Swear jar.
Yeah, on offense. They can have defense, we'll have offense. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what we've been doing. That's what's been happening.
Anything? Hey, it could happen. Seems like Georgia is their new Maryland.
Yeah, maybe. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better because Maryland cats were just tiring.
Yeah. This my warm-up says Max Melton will be a good slot option. Yeah, I love Max Melton. Maybe second, but hopefully he can be there in the third. Third's a little more feasible. I like Melton. I like Sandwich-Toe a little more. I like Jerry and Jones just a little more, but I would take Max Melton.
No, Melton's good.
Yeah.
A lot of
Although
these guys are good.
Melton will be taken before Jerry and Jones. He's the
Yeah,
He's the higher pick.
Yeah.
I just like Jerry and Jones just a little more. But no, I love Max Melton. It's the fact is, we have options at slot corner. We're not out of options. We should be able to grab someone very, very nice.
Right.
Even an Andrew Phillips or a Tyke Smith would be good. But those are like later options. If you want to select early, yeah, you're gonna get some of the better guys. I'm actually surprised they didn't bring in Sandwich-Toe for a top 30 visit.
That's right, they didn't.
Just a little interesting.
I keep forgetting that, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. That doesn't take the interest away.
No, it doesn't. Just because, I mean, they have the interest there.
Yeah.
They pro day visit, I believe a combine visit, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So it's right there. The interest is there.
Knights_21 says first 3 picks: 1 Frazier or Barton, 2 Leggett or Pearsall, 3 Melton or Sandwich-Toe. Either of that scenario is very good.
Slam dunk.
Slam dunk. Very, very good. Any of that. Thoughts on Mims, says 420. I'll just call you 420. He's too risky.
Out of all the options for the Steelers, even more so than Graham Barton, I would say Mims is the biggest boom or bust for the Steelers as far as who they're looking at, who they have shown interest in.
He's
for
one.
round one.
He's one of the biggest boom or bust prospects this draft.
Yeah, not just for the Steelers overall. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, because it's overstated, but 8 starts.
And he's only finished, what, half of them?
Half of those starts, he's only finished. 801 career snaps. That's it. And the injury concerns. I mean, it's a massive risk. If he is the pick, which I do think he is very likely to be the pick at 20, I do not hate it because he wouldn't start day 1. We would have a future right tackle, and we are continuing to fix the offensive line. It is a massive risk. If he turns out the way he should, you're getting an absolute stud of a tackle. Mm-hmm. But you're absolutely running the risk of getting one of the biggest busts.
Yeah.
It's too risky. I don't hate it, though. I don't.
Yeah. And I mentioned this in a previous live stream not too long ago. If the plan is to have a developmental tackle and overall in the first place, why not just wait till the later rounds with how deep it is? And the fact that you have Dan Moore.
That's a fair point. But also, you run the risk of, obviously value drops.
Yeah, of course, you would be missing out on one of the higher valued tackles in Mims. Despite the red flags, he has one of the highest potential ceilings out of this draft class. So, say, for example, you miss out on Mims, but you get Blake Fisher. Fisher may not have the potential level of an Amarius Mims. You would still be getting a stud tackle, but maybe not to the level of what Mims has as far as his potential
Either way,
goes.
you could be getting a quality starter.
Yeah.
The thing with Mims is, if he's the pick, I don't hate it. In fact, I'm not saying no to Mims. I just think there's better options. And here's my thing with offensive line, though. If you draft an offensive lineman in the first round this year, they need to be a day one starter. They need to be. Mims is not a day one starter. He's not. Whatever center you would select in the first round, if you take a center, is a day one starter. If you draft anyone before or after Latham, or before or Latham, they're a day one starter. Mims and Over are not day one starters.
Yeah, so if that's the case, you're better off waiting. You're better off waiting.
But I don't want to turn a blind eye to Mims because it's very likely, and I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I actually like Mims' ceiling.
Yeah, I'm a major fan of Mims.
I just think if you're going to take O-line again this year, they need to be a day one starter.
No, I agree. I feel like that should be the case.
Yeah. And like you said, tackle is stacked.
Yeah.
So, just gonna throw that out there. No, Latham is not falling to 20, Daniel. He's not falling to 20.
No way.
No,
way.
he's not. I'd be very shocked if he is, but he's not falling, man. Mike Samuelstow is the only slot corner I want. Reminds me so much of Hilton. Yes, that is his pro comp, is Mike Hilton.
Big time.
Samuelstow is the best slot corner, and he is the absolute dream. But it's very possible he won't be a Steeler. I hope he
could
is.
be a Steeler.
I hope he is, but you gotta look any other direction. You gotta look at other options.
Of course.
And slot corner stacked, bro. Slot corner is very, very, very stacked. So it's a good problem to have, man. It's a very good problem to have for the Steelers that they have so many needs, and most of the positions that they need are stacked: receiver, tackle, corner. The position that isn't stacked is center.
Yeah.
And let me put it this way, because I want to get you guys' input as well, man. Traditionally, if we're going to rely on tradition, if we're going to rely on history, drafting history from the Steelers, historically, the Steelers are much better drafting receiver later than they are center.
Yeah.
So thus, I'm taking center before receiver. The only way I would be very open to selecting receiver early is if you can still snag one of the top centers later on.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, then absolutely home runs.
Big time.
But historically, the Steelers draft receiver better than they do center. Grab a damn center. Then you can still grab a receiver in the biggest stacked class of any position this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I'm viewing that as well.
I agree. I do.
So, but
Just secure it, man.
we're open to anything at the same time, bro. I think Mims can be a day one starter. Going to be a lot of lows, but you're not learning much on the bench. Well, Broderick didn't even start last year, and he had a ton more of experience coming out of Georgia. A ton more. He didn't have a lot because he only had a year and some change of games of starting experience, but he had a lot more starting experience than Mims did, a lot more snaps than Mims did, but Broderick didn't even start. I don't think Mims would. He could, and if he actually impresses enough in camp, yeah, you do start him. Like Broderick, he actually should have started day one last year, but he didn't.
No.
I can't act like him sitting on the bench didn't help him. Same thing with JPJ, but, they didn't even start Broderick day one last year. If they draft Mims, I just don't see it. Even if he impresses in camp, I don't think he would, even though he probably should.
Yeah. Because they traded up for Broderick, and they still didn't even start him day one. They still had all the faith in the world in Dan Moore. They still do.
Well, Broderick's first career start was only because Dan Moore got hurt.
Yeah. And the guy was a stud, a brick wall at left tackle.
And that was against the Ravens, bro.
But they had Dan Moore and Chuck Okorafor. They had established what they thought at the time, an established right tackle. So Broderick, considering that they trade up for him, yeah, they could have put him over at left tackle. Omar Khan said that he was drafted to be a left tackle. He could have. The coaches could have put him over at left tackle day one if they wanted to, but they didn't.
Right.
So now you look at this year, Broderick's now the right tackle. Chuck's is gone. Moore still the left tackle. Mims has very little and limited starting experience.
Playing time
At the college level. Yeah, I don't really see how Mims
would start day one.
No.
No, I don't either.
No.
That's why I say if you're going to draft an offensive line this year, he needs to be a day one starter. And Mims could be that. I just don't see it from the Steelers aspect. I'm not saying Mims isn't a day one starter. The starting experience is concerning, but, I mean, just based on what the Steelers do, especially with their rookies, I just don't see it. Nathan says, Dan, Rob, I'm going to bed. See you guys Thursday night for Steelers draft. Looking forward to it, Nathan.
Appreciate it, man. You have yourself a good night.
Yes, sir. See you guys draft night, JPJ round 1. Doing Lance Storm's dance to his Fire Ash rap song, and hopefully get my receiver at 2, says Dick412. Yeah, man, we'll see what happens. We're only 2 nights away, bro. 48 hours. Fuck, man. 48 hours from now, swear jar, we could be looking at the next Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, of course.
We could be looking at the next Pittsburgh Steeler, man. And with that being said, I think we're going to head on out, man. We've been live for about 2 hours. We gave you guys our final mock. For those that are tuning in late, we will reiterate here. This was our final mock, man. Steelers trade pick 20 and a 2025 fifth-round pick to the Arizona Cardinals for picks 27, 66, and 138. With 27th pick, the Steelers select Jackson Powers Johnson. 51st pick, Steelers select Ricky Pearsall. 66th pick, Steelers select Mike Samerstill. 84th pick, Steelers select Blake Fisher. 98th pick, Steelers select Jeremiah Trotter Jr. 119th pick, Steelers select Ronaldo Green. 138th pick, Steelers select Malik Washington. 178th pick, Steelers select Christian Boyd. 195th pick, Steelers select Travis Glover. That is our final Steelers mock draft. And no more Steelers mock drafts, man.
Not from us. Nope.
Not from us.
That's it for 2024.
But otherwise, tomorrow we'll be live tomorrow night for one final Steelers draft talk. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm sure there'll be a lot more stuff coming out tomorrow in regards to rumors and stuff like that. We'll talk more with you guys in the live chat regarding not just the first round, but every option regarding all the Steelers draft picks.
Yes, sir.
As well as we will have probably multiple live mock drafts here on the computer that we will screen share, and you guys in the chat will be in control of each and every pick. Fuck our opinions. Fuck our decisions. It'll be your guys' opinions, your guys' decisions. Swear jar.
You guys will be the authority. I don't think I've swear jarred one time today, bro. You gotta save the coins for Thursday. You know it's gonna be.
I put in maybe $2. We got like $19 left in here.
I hope so.
It'll be gone by Saturday. I guarantee
You gotta save some for Thursday. It's gonna be a chaotic
Okay,
night.
I promise.
And Friday.
I promise I won't cuss tomorrow. How about that?
You have his word. Quote him on that. Screenshot it.
That's not going to happen. No, but we'll be live tomorrow night. Hope to see you guys there. We'll be doing some live mock drafts with your guys' most engagement. That in regards to the Steelers and, of course, a full first-round mock draft because I think that's going to be fun and very interesting to see how that turns out. So we'll be live tomorrow night for that. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining us tonight on another great live stream, on a Tuesday night live stream as we gave you guys our final Steelers mock draft for this season as well as all the upgraded news regards to the Steelers trade rumors and draft rumors. So otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow with pretty much the same, and it's going to be fun, man. So 2 nights away, 48 hours away from finding out who the next Pittsburgh Steeler will be. Brings a smile on the face just thinking
It's
about
getting
it.
closer, bro.
It's getting closer. So we're going to get on out of here. You guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. See you guys tomorrow night. See you in the next one. Here we go, Steelers, bro.
Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!
There we go. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Whoops. No,
Come on, man.
No. There we go. There we go. And yes, for those that don't know, that is just a picture of Broderick, and I just
Blacked it out.
yeah. So that's Broderick Jones, but I don't know. I just had to put someone there.
Well, I didn't want to pick it there.
Well, I was never going to use a Pickett picture.
Thank God.
Why would I ever use a Pickett
Thank
picture?
God. We only used one other. That was Big Ben. That was 20 years ago.
That was 20. That was fuck.
Oh my God. Woo!
Yeah, buddy. Oh, by the way, 19 years ago today, we drafted Heath Miller.
Yes, we
And
did.
18 years ago yesterday, no, not 18. Fucking
21.
15, 14. 14 years ago yesterday, we drafted Marquise Pouncey.
Yes, that's right.
Wow. So, some Steelers history.
Draft a center.
Let's ride.